the power of the B key, and how silence is a good thing. And even I'm going to show you how you should never use PowerPoint again. You should use a program called... It's coming up next. All right, welcome back to the channel. My name is Saran French, and on today's episode, I'm going to be showing you some tips, some tricks, some stuff I learned as an instructor on how to teach a class in the United States military. So during my last 4.5 years of being an instructor and being a drill sergeant, I learned a lot about how to teach a class. I went through the instructor course. That taught me a lot. Me being a drill sergeant, that taught me some stuff too. But I'm going to teach you today a couple things of how to improve your teaching skills of giving a class. Let's get into it. All right, one of the first things that I'm going to teach you today is, if you're going to teach something, you got to know it. If you don't know what you're teaching, you're not prepared. If you're not prepared, you're definitely not teaching anything. It's that easy. Know what you're teaching. If it's something out of the STP book, a level 10 thing that you should know as a soldier on how to orientate a map north, then you should know how to do it. Go train yourself first so that when you teach others, you know what you're doing. Know what you're teaching. It's absolutely huge. On to my next thing, PowerPoint. We've all had death by PowerPoint, but somehow a decade has gone by and we're still teaching by PowerPoint. Somehow. Now, PowerPoint is a useful presentation tool, but there's other presentation tools. So for you, one program that you should look into is Prezi. Now, as you can see here, Prezi has a different way of animating these slides and keeping you involved in what's going on. It is a great presentation tool. It is something different than PowerPoint, and it's much better, and it's even free. Next thing I want to talk about is those slides. How many of us have been to training where the entire dictionary was on a slide? I'm expected to read this on? Oh. Now, one thing I learned during the instructor course is these slides should contain cues for you to read and then cue you up to teach something that you should know. See those previous tips. On your slides, it should be 6 words or less and 6 bullet points or less. Something to cue you up. Something for you to talk about. You should have notes on your slides so that you can be like, oh, when I get to that point, I need to talk about this diagram. When I get to this point here, I'm going to talk about magnetic north on my compass. When I get to these, they're cues for you. You don't put the entire definition of leadership on there. Sorry, you don't do it. It's going to make it easier for you to teach, and it's going to make it easier for them to consume and learn. The next thing I want to tell you about is, how do you get your class engaged? Well, I'm going to tell you this. There's 3 types of learners out there. People that learn audibly through their ears. People that learn visually by just seeing it and then they can go apply it. And then we have our kinetic learners that got to get in there and use their hands to learn something. And if you're only in the front of the class talking to them audibly, you're only engaging a third of your class. That's good math. You're not supposed to math in public. At least as a drill sergeant. So take this time when you're building classes to engage all those leaders. Maybe you have a visual handout that you hand out to them. Get our hands on. Maybe at the end of the class, you have a practical exercise. Let's go apply it. If you connect all 3 of these types of learning, you're going to have a very, very effective class. Think about that when you're designing your class. It doesn't just have to be slides. It's your class. Now on to the power of the B key. The B key is huge. If you don't know about the B key, open up a PowerPoint or Prezi, if you dialed in earlier, and just hit the B key as you're in presentation mode. Once you put your slides on the screen, you're in presentation mode, hit the B key. It will turn the screen black. Now, what does that do for you as an instructor? I'll tell you. It puts all eyes on me like Tupac. Because for you as an instructor, if you want them to look at you, listen to you, this is very important. Listen, hit the B key. Because as long as you have these slides up here, they're only paying attention to those. They're not looking at you. Think about the B key and how to use it. Even put it in your notes. After I ask this question, hit the B key. That's going to keep people engaged. Next after that, I'm going to talk about overhead questions. You got to have questions that you're going to ask the class. That's going to create controversy. That's going to create discussion. That's going to create a learning environment. Now, what happens when we ask these questions, right? All right, everybody, how many types of counselings are there? And nobody answers? That happens all the time. We know it. You know it. So how do you break it? The instructor tends to, well, nobody's answering my question. I'll just answer it myself in the first 3 seconds. No. Let silence happen. It will force people to say something. People don't like to sit in silence. People will start shaking, and itching, and tweaking, and then they'll just say something. And for you, let silence happen. Let them think about it. One of them will answer, and it will get them engaged. It could be a good thing for your class. And one of the last things I want to tell you is, do a dry run. Open up your presentation in the exact classroom where you're going to give it. If you're outside, you're going to be giving it in the woods, then go out in the woods and give it out there. Talk to yourself. Go through it. This is when I'm going to hand out this. This is when I'm going to do this. This is when I'm going to engage here. This is when I'm going to hit the B key. Go through it. Prep. Do a rehearsal. It's good for you to see that actual execution. You walk it, you talk it, you do it. Do a dry run. It's only going to help you. All right, so today, that's a bunch of tips of how to teach a class in the United States military. And what I want to tell you is, I got a bunch more tips of these, but I'd have to do a part 2 of this. We'll see. And with these tips today, you should gain a little bit more confidence, and you should be better prepared for when your next leadership and training class comes up, and you look like a pro up there. It feels good. Confidence is a good thing. And these are the little things that are going to separate yourself from your peers and all your other fellow NCOs are my future NCOs out there, you guys. And today, that's the drill. All right, thanks for watching the episode. My name is Sergeant French. If you like the episode, hit that like button. If you want to hear from me, I want to hear from you. Comment below, but mostly hit that subscribe button. I want to thank you all to my subscribers. Thank you for doing it. Thank you for chiming in. Thank you for getting better. And dominate the day.